Welcome to Midnight Slumber. I am your host, Zach Miller. Join me as we take a journey through the alternate realities that take place after midnight. Birthdays are to be celebrated and enjoyed. However, for people who don't like surprises, they should get a heads up on their birthday party, even if the fun is out of this world. Enjoy the story called Birthday Cake. My friend and I travel down a 2-lane road in his car as the sun is starting to set. This road heads towards his old church, and he says he wants to stop by to see what it looks like since he hasn't been there in years. I tell him that it is pretty modern now as I have seen it develop over the years. But then, as the road begins to incline, he says that he doesn't remember this hill being here. I find that strange as this hill has always been here, and I have driven up it plenty of times. As we go up the hill, I can feel something is off about this drive. The hill should have only lasted a few seconds, but as we ride along, it continues to get steeper as we go up. I look out the window and we are a few stories up now, and as I look up, I can see that this hill is getting to the point of going almost vertical. My friend looks over at me and says he doesn't think we'll make it as his car is losing traction at this steep angle. I tell him that we will, and I reach my hand out the window. My hand extends and grows in size until it was big enough to get under and around the road, grabbing hold of it. I hold tight, but keep my fingers out of the way as I help his car stay on the road and keep it from sliding backwards. The car tires squeal as it struggles to move forward. I pull with all my might and we begin moving forward in bursts. Every time I pull, the car moves forward, but the road has started to twist and turn. We begin to turn towards the left when the car starts to slide off the road. I hold on even harder, keeping us from falling now that the turn has extended out over where the hill began. If we go off the road now, we will plummet to our death. I am now using both hands to hold on to the road. We are working in tandem with me pulling forward and my friend hitting the gas. Every time we reach a new milestone and I have to stop pulling, he throws on the emergency brake to keep us from sliding backwards or off to one side. We are close to the top now, but we still have one more turn to make. I reach my right hand forward and pull with everything I have left, as we are not only turning, but we are completely vertical with the car. It takes all my friend's strength to pull himself up by the steering wheel and push his foot against the gas. I can feel the road starting to pull away from the ground. The engine roars, and we both yell as we exert all our energy. Finally, the car grabs hold, and the front 2 tires make it over the smooth, round top of the hill, giving us the advantage that we need. The car darts up the last bit of the hill, and we land on the flat road with a thud. It jolts forward but comes to an abrupt stop as my friend hits the brakes. My arms retract back in through the passenger window like a wind-up toy. We both slump down in our seats and take deep breaths at the fact that we are safe. I don't remember that hill being there. The sun has finally set, and the street is only lit by the tall lamps that line the road. My friend sits back up and slowly gets the car going again. Up ahead on our right is a restaurant with a giant taco on top. Both of us are tired, hungry, and considering it's late, we decide to pull in and get a bite to eat. The parking lot is dim, with only the lights inside the building lighting it up. We have to drive around back, as the parking lot only allows people to move in one direction. As we pull around, he parks in the first parking spot. There are no other cars here. I ask him why he didn't park closer to the door. He turns the car off and says that he just wants to get out of this car as quickly as possible. He needs to walk around as soon as he can due to almost dying. We both hop out and start to head towards the building, when another car pulls up and parks next to us. We are about halfway across the parking lot when I look back and see that more than one car can park in each spot. This means that we could potentially be blocked in by other vehicles. More cars do start funneling in and parking behind one another. I tell him to let me move his car so we don't get blocked in, and he tosses his keys to me, saying he will reserve a table for us. I catch the keys and run back. As I pop open the door and climb in, I see the spots around me filling up. I get fully backed out when I see a few places close to the front door that only allow for one car in each parking spot. I maneuver around cars as I go backwards and pull in, parking with the trunk facing the building. As I get out, I can see 2 cars immediately pull into our old spot, which would have blocked us in. The front door is made of stained green glass and looks very expensive. Yet the outside of the building is run down and unimpressive. Pushing the door open, I walk into a very nice, clean, well-kept Aztec restaurant. Tables are full, music is playing, people laugh and chat as they come here regularly. I walk through the seating area where there are dark brown leather chairs and a big chandelier hanging from the ceiling. The light from the chandelier gives the room a comforting warm glow. The bar in front of me has plenty of seats, and so many glasses hanging from the overhead rafters, they look like icicles waiting to be plucked. The patrons who sit at this bar are well dressed, clearly flaunting their enormous wealth. Off to my right, I hear a familiar voice shout my name. My wife is seated at a large booth with my family and friend who drove me here. They are all smiling and waving me over to come sit with them. They dressed up a little more than usual for this dinner. Only my friend and I are dressed in casual everyday clothes. He is wearing a black t-shirt with a happy skull on it, and I am wearing a dark green t-shirt with shorts. As soon as I sit down next to my beautiful wife, the waitress brings out the food and places it in front of everyone. The food looks fantastic. Steam comes off the hot plate that's in front of my dad. The burrito my brother ordered is the size of 2 American footballs, and the tacos everyone else ordered smell fantastic. My mouth is watering from all the wonderful smells. But it is also at this moment that I realize I have no food. I look to the waitress, who has a big smile across her face, and ask if she is still bringing anything else out. She shakes her head no and tells me that she will bring me a menu. I say thanks, and then as she walks off, my family and everyone begin to sing happy birthday to me. Which, it's not my birthday. When I say it's not my birthday, I don't mean it's a day or 2 away. No, it's more like months or half a year away. So yeah, this really catches me off guard. As they begin singing, the entire restaurant joins in. Their whole place begins to echo with their singing, and I start to die of embarrassment. I am startled when a hand reaches over from the booth behind us, and a lady no older than my mom grabs my right cheek, the one on my face, and starts to squeeze it. She says,
"Oh, it's so cute that you are having a birthday party with your family at your age. I remember when I was in college how much I missed my parents. Happy birthday, sweetie."
She lets go of my face, and my eyes are as wide as they can be from the shock of humiliation at this moment. People around me begin to laugh, and to top it off, the waitress comes back with a check for the food. With what little pride I have left, I ask her about the menu, and she says that they didn't think I needed any food, as they figured I would have cake at home with my family. My jaw drops, and the anger and frustration inside me hit a wall. I shout at the top of my lungs, "I hate this place!" Followed by me stomping off away from the table like a child. Clearly, I am not worried about any more humiliation at this point. Making my way into the souvenir shop connected to this building, I wander into the clothing section. I try and hide from everyone to figure out what to do when this big muscular guy walks up to me and says that I don't have to be so rude about everything. Of course, he is correct, but I don't think he understands my embarrassment. Either way, he shoves me and says for being mean to everyone, he is going to beat me up. The statement causes me to pause, wondering who he is related to and why I have offended him so much. But before I can travel down that rabbit hole of thoughts, he swings his fist at me. I duck and push a cart full of clothes in front of him, but like a raging bull, that doesn't slow him down. I ball up my fist and take a swing at him, hoping that I will connect and at least make him take a step back. My fist connects perfectly with his jaw, causing him to fall straight to the ground. I am shocked that I knocked him out. I didn't even want to fight him. The massive man slowly sits up, puts his hands on his head, and removes his head from his body with a loud pop. His head was just a mask, and what lies underneath is a black duck with big eyes. The duck shakes its head and says,
Sorry about that, but I wanted to make sure you were tough enough to do what we need you for.
I tell him I'm sorry I hit him, but what does he need me for? He climbs out of the suit and looks me in the eyes and says,
I need you to be our goalie. It sounds dumb, but if you follow me, I can explain on the way.
I nod and he starts waddling off, heading into the back room where all the cooks are. The kitchen is messy and there is grease all over the floor, making me feel a little better about not eating the food. We come up to the freezer door and he pushes it open, revealing a wooden staircase that leads up to somewhere bright. I follow, and as we go up, he tells me that they are competing against a group of hooligans who want to take over the world. It sounds like a big familiar movie to me, but he says he knows, and it's not the same thing, that they did that movie once and he doesn't want to do a remake. Plus, this one is the real deal. I step up on the last step and see we are in a tunnel that leads out to a giant soccer field. The crowd is cheering as the game has already started. He stops me in the tunnel and hands me a duck costume. I look at it and he explains that I need to put it on, that no human is allowed to play. Otherwise, the hooligans may eat me since that is their preferred food of choice. I quickly slip on the costume and he smiles, saying he made it himself, which I can see as we have similar feathers. We both jog down the aisle and the announcer comes over the speakers, shouting out our arrival. The tall rabbit in the goal trades places with me. As soon as I step in his place, a ball comes flying at me. I catch it out of pure reaction, and the force of it knocks me down, but I manage to keep it from going in the goal. I toss the ball back onto the field, and my team immediately kicks it into the opposing team's goal. The crowd erupts with cheer while the opposing team leers and growls at us. They are huge and void of any color. Gray fur covers their bodies, and the only thing that I can see of them is their pure white eyes. Their hands are twice the size of my head, but proportionate to the rest of their bodies. Our opponents get the ball this time and kick it hard in my direction. I manage to block it again, but not without having the wind knocked out of me. I trade places with the bunny again to catch my breath. Standing off to the side, I see another goal that has been damaged and broken. It has a countless number of balls that have been popped or torn to shreds from this game inside. I look back out on the field and see the gray creatures pop the ball and play. These gray figures are destroying everything in this game with no hesitation. The clock only has a minute left, and we are tied up. I see the bunny get fouled by being slammed into the ground. This means my rest break is over. The bunny is fine, he's just flattened for the moment. The ref throws the ball back into play, and it is immediately sent my way. It is a perfect setup. I line up my kick as it comes rolling in, and I give it everything I got. My foot connects with the ball and sends it flying. It goes far, but is veering off to the right just a bit when a big shaggy dog jumps up and hits the ball into their goal with its nose. The timer runs out, and the announcer comes on shouting that we have won. The crowd erupts with joy. Our team runs in and hugs each other out of excitement. I look at the gray figures, wondering what they are going to do. The gray creatures lean their head low and place a gold trophy next to us, which has a set of galaxies spinning on top. From what I can tell, it means we are the rulers of this universe. The creatures gather together and then vanish behind a bright flash of light. As everyone cheers with excitement, I stand there wondering, did my family see any of this? Because if so, I definitely want some birthday cake. Thank you for listening to tonight's episode. Please leave a comment and check out our social media on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We would love to hear your thoughts on tonight's episode. I'm your host, Zach Miller, and thanks for listening. Have a good midnight slumber.